Hi guys, hope you all had lunch because I couldn't hear some claps. And come on, let's just guys wake up and get started. I know it's pretty much end of the day and we are all kind of tired and had good lunch, so that makes us sleepy, including myself. But well, let's get started. Am I loud and clear for everyone here? I can't hear. Thank you so much. Hundreds of startup founders are attempting to build mental health tech with the same Silicon Valley mindset, only to realize later on that their products are failing to deliver the impact they had initially envisioned. My question is, why is that? As a founder in this field, I've realized one thing. You cannot build mental health tech just the way you build other tech products. Today, I stand before you all to share a simple yet transformative three-pillar framework to build a practitioner-first mental health tech solution that truly works. Your story is safe with me. These words echoed reassurance when I walked into therapy room for the first time. Yet, the next morning, I woke up to my therapy session notes being casually circulated as gossip on the college WhatsApp group. That wasn't just a privacy breach for me, it was betrayal. My trust in the system broke. And it pushed me away from therapy for 2 critical years of my life. This isn't unique to me. Over 988 million health records were globally exposed last year. That's in 2024. And this is the reported number, by the way. We do not have the unreported number. And it's time we take a pause here and ask ourselves, is this really just about data leaks and privacy policies? Because in my opinion, it's something more deeper. It's about an individual's dignity, an individual's identity, and at times their life. Because trust, once broken, rarely recovers. And this brings me to the first pillar, privacy by design. But privacy alone isn't enough, is what we need to understand today. No matter how safe the digital spaces are, but if they lack the human connection, they are still at the risk of privacy breach. I remember using ChatGPT or AI chatbots that we have today. And I still do use them, and I guess a lot of us do when we are at our lowest and we just want to talk to someone desperately. We are seeking validation, we are seeking that comfort. But for me, at least, those chatbots were not enough. They were not enough because they could not read between the lines. They were not enough because they failed to realize and hear the unspoken words and read between the lines. They could not recognize my trembling voice. They believed me that when I said I am okay, but in reality, I was not. Human connection over automation is the second pillar of the three-pillar framework. It's time that we realize today technology should not be built to replace therapists, Because if we start to automate and replace therapists, we are taking away the very human element of mental health care. It's time that we realize today we cannot use just the mainstream tech, the AI, push more algorithms, do more automations, and standardize the process. Because in this process of standardizing therapy, we are actually limiting it to handful of people. The way we express emotions today, the way I do it, the way you do it, or the way you do it is different. For me, when I am sad, I choose to paint. For you, it might be crying and closing yourself behind closed doors. When the way we express emotions is different, how are we expecting to standardize the mental health care? How are we expecting that just go chat with your friend or share with your friend will really be helpful for someone, especially in a country like India where mental health care is still a stigma? I see a lot of men sitting here, and I want to ask you a quick question. How many of you can truly cry in front of your friends or even tell them? And this holds true for women in the room. How many of you can truly cry in front of your friend and tell them that, dude, it's not working? I guess I need a break. Just, show off your hands, and I'd love to know. How many of us? None. Sorry? Well, yes. Cry and still be friends. I guess there we go. Right? And that validates the point I'm trying to make. You cannot standardize therapy. And with inclusion, extensive inclusion of tech, and the agenda, let's replace therapists with AI, does not work. Imagine when we can't express emotions in the same way, how are we expecting practitioners across the globe to use the same standard solution? A solution probably built for a New York-based therapist is expected to be used by a practitioner sitting in India today. It's time we realize that practices are different. It varies with every practitioner. It's time we realize the client needs are different. The more we try to standardize, the further we are pushing away people from therapy. We are not getting them into therapy. I'll share a quick example or a survey insight with all of you, and this was not part of my script, I swear. Recently, a US-based company did a survey trying to understand from the folks who have taken therapy through the organizations and with the help of AI. Or out of all the respondents, 70% of them dropped out of therapy because of the horrible experience. And they haven't been to therapy after that for the next 3 years. At least on an average. This is the stats. When the practitioner needs are different, when a client needs are different, when practice needs are different, this essentially brings me to the third pillar, practitioner autonomy. It's time we empower therapists to deliver quality client care. It's time we enable them to offer better therapy to their clients, and we assist them, the therapists, with the business side of their things that they are probably not taught today. Until this point, at least I can bet, they are not taught how to do a business, an ethical business. Autonomy, essentially, for me, is practitioners being independent enough to make the choices, to define their workflow, and not being boxed into what we today want to offer to them. Autonomy is about us building and adapting to the requirements of the users and not the other way around. Bringing the three pillars together that I just discussed: privacy by design, human connection over automation, and practitioner autonomy. These three pillars are the non-negotiables if we truly want to build an inclusive mental health tech. Now, if you have a question, okay, Divya, all of this is good, but how do we really go about implementing it in a real world? How do we really bring this together? Well, I can share with you how we are doing this at Vinyasa. Day 0 of Vinyasa, we asked ourselves 3 questions. What does privacy mean for us as an organization? How do we make sure we don't take away the very human element of mental health care in the process of building one? How do we make sure we are truly enabling and empowering the therapists? And the answer lied in how we have built Vinyasa today, which goes above and beyond just encrypted communication when we talk about privacy by design, which means zero data tracking. The users today control the data. The therapist controls if they want to really share with their clients their email IDs and phone numbers, and the clients control if they want to share their email IDs and phone number with their therapists. This is just one small example of how we are trying to ensure the user has control, 100% control of their data. They can request us to get their data deleted at any point in time. And it's just 3 clicks: their name, their registered email ID, and a submit button. And by the way, I hope all of us here knows, but at least I did not until my lawyer told me that I today have the right to request to any company to delete my data from their database forever. This is part of privacy policy of every company, but it's just so buried deep down that we as users don't really get to know. Coming to human connection, the very essence which I talked earlier, empowering therapists instead of replacing them. So we knew we are not good at therapy. I am not a practitioner, but I am a therapy client. I've been at the receiving end of therapy for 8 years despite the privacy breach. So I knew what I'm not good at is giving therapy. But what I am good at is tech. What I'm good at is business. And this essentially meant to build something for these therapists that helps them focus on what they are really good at. And that's where we built up Vinyasa, the entire business operations for therapists in private practice. Coming to practitioner autonomy. Therapists today can essentially, if they're using Vinyasa, it means they customize the workflow and their client journey. And that for us truly means practitioner autonomy, because we don't dictate their work timings, we don't dictate how much they really charge. We rather enable and empower them to make the right business decisions. Because we have a team that tells them, guides them when they need insight, they need consultation on how to really go about pricing their sessions. And with this, I want to ask all of you, isn't it the time that we truly start redefining how we want to measure success when it comes to mental health tech? Can we shift from measuring success through clicks to measuring success through trust? Can we move from data extraction to trust building? I want to leave all of you with this thought. How can you today truly make an impact? By making mental health tech rather, sorry, more ethical, more inclusive, instead of trying to build digital barriers between a therapist and a client. Thank you. And by the way, you can scan the QR code to connect with me, and I'll be more than happy to answer all your questions right here. And of course, you can connect with me, and we'll be happy to chat later as well.